In the top stories, political activist David Comissiong says he may join the BLP's march tomorrow. Concern over the risky sex habits of elderly Barbadians, and young athletes hope to capture a 6th CUT title in Trinidad. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, July 23, 2014. I'm Natasha Beckles.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. Your news, your time, your way.
Political activist David Comissiong has thrown his support behind opposition leader Mia Mottley's march against the municipal solid waste tax. He says he may even take part in the move, which was part of a very Barbadian tradition.
It's not the BLP's leader of the opposition. It is our leader of the opposition. We have a right to walk into the leader of the opposition office in Parliament and say to Ms. Motley, we think you should be doing X, Y, and Z. We insist that you do X, Y, and Z because we pay your salary. You're accountable to us as a constitutionally constructed office. You don't just belong to the Barbadians Labour Party.
Mr. Comissiong added that Barbadians' perceived fear of reprisal if they spoke up was a mere figment of the imagination. He made the comments today during a press conference to highlight activities planned for the Day of National Significance to be celebrated this Saturday at Golden Square, the city. Meantime, former Barbados Labour Party Member of Parliament Reverend Joseph Atherley says there is no reason why all opposition MPs should not be on the streets tomorrow to back their leader. He said even St. James Central Representative Kerry Simmons was expected to be among the marchers, despite his very public spat with Mia Mottley over her approach to the levy. Reverend Atherley was speaking this afternoon on a second straight day of press conferences leading up to the march against government's municipal solid waste tax. The midday march is expected to start in Heroes Square and end at the stoplights on Bay Street before Ms. Mottley leads a small delegation to Prime Minister Frundell Stewart's office to hand-deliver a protest letter. Chairman of the National Assistance Board, Sifa Seeley, has expressed concern about the number of elderly Barbadians engaging in risky sexual practices. He said many older people were experimenting with sexual enhancers or seeking sexual gratification outside the home, thereby exposing themselves and their partners to sexually transmitted infections, including HIV. Speaking during an HIV and the elderly seminar today, Mr. Seeley said the sexuality of older people had to be accepted and discussed so they would be more comfortable seeking treatment where necessary. Meantime, Minister of Social Care Steve Blackett noted that HIV among the elderly had been neglected as an area of study, but this did not mean that senior citizens were not at risk. Barbadians must stop the excessive fetting and start working again. This is the only way Senator Henry Fraser believes Barbados will be able to capitalize on the opportunities being offered through the Economic Partnership Agreement. In a passionate contribution to debate in the Senate today, he said Barbadians have to stop trying to become the party nation of the Caribbean like Trinidad and Tobago. He said the island had built a reputation as a nation of sober, Christian, hardworking people who would do an honest day's work, but this has not been the case for some time. The Barbados Vocational Training Board is going through a major rebranding, which will include a name change. Making the announcement today was Director Henderson Thompson, who said this was necessary to keep up with the times and change how people viewed the organization. He said the board was also revamping its curriculum to make it more relevant.
So we might be able to remove those areas from the curriculum and put in new areas for training to make it relevant. So that's what it is. You cannot have a curriculum that is 20 years old and you're still training young people and sending them out to industry. You're going to frustrate industry. You're going to frustrate yourself, and you're going to frustrate most of all the people that you're training and certifying.
Mr. Thompson was speaking during a workshop for construction industry employers to ascertain how the board could better work with them. Bryden Stokes Limited will be expanding its reach in the Caribbean through a new initiative with regional airline LIAT. Passengers traveling from Barbados will now be treated to free samples from the range of foods the company sells. The one-month initiative, which was officially launched this morning, involves passengers traveling on select flights to Antigua, Trinidad, Grenada, and Dominica. Senior Commercial Manager at LIAT, Derek Frederick, explained the thinking behind the partnership.
And Barbados itself is a major hub for traffic within the region. On a daily basis, we have thousands of passengers that come through this gate 9 en route to their various destinations. LIAT is always looking to partner with progressive companies to enhance our service to the traveling public. Bread and Stokes, Aline, is one of the largest distributors in the region, and we are pleased to be working together for the benefit of our passengers.
The Big Shot laugh has been silenced days before the National Cultural Foundation stages the 40th anniversary Crop Over Monarchs in Concert show. One of the oldest monarchs has passed away. Leopold Curtin, also known as the Mighty Charmer, died on Monday in the United States, where he had been living for the past 44 years. Charmer was the Calypso monarch in 1964 and is best known for his song Big Shot Laugh. His niece Frederica Ford Cummins said his body would be returned to Barbados for burial next week. In sport, the best of Barbados juvenile athletes will be taking Trinidad and Tobago by storm this week. Barbados will be after a 6th Caribbean Union of Teachers or CUT title at the annual Youth Track and Field Championships. The 60-plus person contingent was a confident group when saying goodbye to family and friends at the Grantley Adams International Airport earlier today. Manager of the team, Vayman Harbin, said much would be expected from the squad, but he was confident they would do well.
It's on the 15 event. We have on the 9s, on the 11s, on the 13s, and on the 15th. There are 10 relays. We intend to win all 10 of those relays this year. And having done that, we should, no doubt, secure the championship.
Barbadian Akila Jones is in tonight's final of the women's long jump at the IAAF World Junior Championships in Eugene, Oregon. On Tuesday night, she leaped 6.32 meters in the qualifying round and is second overall going into the final. Sprinter Levi Cadogan is also into the semis of the men's 100 meters. On Tuesday, Cadogan finished second in his heat in 10.45 seconds and is in the first semifinal. Hurdler Michael Nichols and sprinter Tristan Evelyn also competed on Tuesday but did not move on to the next round. National Sprint Hurdles champion Shane Brathwaite will carry the Barbados flag in tonight's opening ceremony of the 20th Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. Brathwaite is a former World Youth Octathlon champion. Competition will officially get underway tomorrow. Barbados will be competing in badminton, judo, cycling, swimming, the triathlon, table tennis, and netball. Log on to nationnews.com for more details. And finally, a Nebraska couple chose an unusual venue for their wedding, the largest cemetery in Omaha. They exchanged vows surrounded by family, friends, and more than 100,000 souls buried in the 349-acre cemetery. The bride, who is from Kyrgyzstan, said her culture holds a firm belief in spirits, and some of the groom's ancestors are buried in the cemetery. And that's Nation News for Wednesday. You can get it on our website, nationnews.com, as well as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.